Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back doing my first ever Q&A. I asked a couple of weeks ago in my last Everyday May video to list questions and I cannot believe how many I got. I honestly thought I'd maybe get like 5 or 6. I'm gonna have to split this video up into loads of different parts, probably 2 or 3, because I don't want to bombard you all at once. I've got my phone with all the questions on them, so I'm just going to go through them. So, question number 1. How did you meet Neil and what was your first date like? So I met Neil 5 years ago, in a nightclub. We were one of the ones that met out clubbing. If I'm being completely honest with you, I don't remember meeting him because I was absolutely trolleyed. I had a spontaneous night out with Ellie. There's cat hair everywhere. I had a spontaneous night out with Ellie and she knew a guy that Neil was hanging around with. And I was dancing underneath my fan because back in the day I couldn't dance anywhere else because I used to get so hot and so sweaty. So I was dancing underneath the fan and apparently I went up to him and I was like, I've lost my life, because I lost my purse. And I didn't lose my purse, it was just in Ellie's bag rather than mine. He also apparently asked me if I wanted a drink and I said that I don't take drinks off of strangers. And somehow he got my number. I texted him, back in the day, this is when I had a BlackBerry, I texted him my name, Jess, with a smiley face and a couple of kisses, and then I had a message on Facebook the following morning. I remember looking at it being like, who's Neil? Like, what an awful name. And I was like, oh dear. And then we just got chatting on Facebook chat, and then he started texting me and I actually met up with him that night. And the rest is history. Like, from then on, we've literally been inseparable. So we met on the 10th of March and we made it official on the 7th of May. Question number 2 is, do you plan on getting married, having a wedding, etc., or are you just going to stay engaged? I don't know. At the moment, we are not in any rush to get married. I don't really see the need. I know that I'm going to spend the rest of my life with Neil. So I don't feel the urge to have the wedding. When I looked into getting married, this was like a year ago now, I just couldn't justify spending the prices that it would be for like wine and food and stuff like that. Like, I'm not a drinker myself and I'm a very fussy eater and I can't afford to spend £100 per person when I only see them once a year. I just think a wedding, in my opinion, and in Neil's as well, it's just a huge faff when we don't really, like, our families aren't like this. Like, we keep my family and Neil's family very separate. It's just not for us. So I think when we do get married, it'll be very low key, like my bridesmaids and Neil, and that would be it. Like, that's all I want. We'll go abroad and that'll be it, but when that'll be, I don't know, but it won't be anytime soon. And I'm gonna double barrel my surname, so I don't want to lose Coatry. I don't know why, it just means quite a lot to me, so I will double barrel my surname. Next question is, do you have a timescale in mind for when you would like to have another baby, or is it just a wait and see situation? I would love to have another baby. Neil's not too keen. If it was down to Neil, Neil would just have P and that would be it. But I can't not be pregnant again. I absolutely loved it. And I would love P to have a sibling that I never had. So I would like to start trying potentially next year, but it just depends on the situation. We would have to move for when we do have another baby, because obviously we're only in a 2-bed at the moment and we could only make it last until, say, the new baby would be like 5 months when they're still in with us. I personally believe that there is a right time for every family. And at the moment it's not. I've just got my body back. I'm in the swing of things. P is a handful in herself. I praise people that have 2 under 2. P's 1.5 and my god is she hard work. I think we might potentially start trying next year. Don't hold me to it. But we'll just see how everything goes. We're not in any rush. Next question is, how did you come up with the name Phoebe? It's a name that where did I hear about it? I think I heard it on One Born Every Minute and I was like, yeah, I really like that name. Obviously Phoebe, I think that whenever you think of the name Phoebe, you think of Phoebe from Friends, which was a huge, like, off-putting thing for me. Neil didn't like it at first, and then at the gender scan when we found out she was obviously a girl, I was like, I do still really like the name, and it just stuck. And when I was pregnant she was baby P, and now she's just P, and that is how we came up with the name. Do you think you'll go back to work? Now this is something I have been thinking about, and I think in the new year I will go back to work 1 day a week, which I know isn't a lot at all, but it's just a little something. So basically I had my maternity leave, which is your 9 months, and then I took an additional 3 months off of work, which is unpaid, and we wanted to see how we went. And during that time Neil was like, yeah, that's absolutely fine, like we'll struggle, we'll do paycheck to paycheck, but if you want to be a stay-at-home mum, we'll make it happen. That's where I am to this day. I'm still a stay-at-home mum. Obviously I've got my little dummy clip business on the side, which basically just covers my phone bill once a month. So I sat down and spoke to Neil, and I just said, if I do go back to work, any money that I do earn can go straight into a savings account because we don't need it at the moment. So that'll just be a little bit of money that we've got, so when we do have another baby or we decide to move and we need a bit of a deposit for like renting and stuff, there's no way that I'll ever be able to save for a mortgage, like deposit. But if we were to do that, that's how we would go about things. Back when I was due to go back to work, I didn't actually have any childcare. My mum, if you've watched me, my mum's not really in the right frame of mind to look after herself, let alone a child, and I couldn't trust her with that. If I'm being honest, I don't really trust anyone with P. My dad works full time and my stepmum works all the time, and she's got 2 children. However, as time's gone on, Ellie is now on maternity leave, and she said that she would be happy to have P 1 day a week, which is a huge weight lifted off my shoulders because I was so stressed as to what to do with P. And P absolutely loves Ellie. Obviously if you watch me you'll know that she is just brilliant with kids anyway. She is probably the one and only person that I would trust to have her from 8 till 5 1 day a week. So that is an option, and obviously I'll repay the favour, so if Ellie works 1 day and she needs me to have Evie, then that'll be fine. So hopefully that's what's going to happen in the new year. I don't want to do it until the new year. I want to make sure that we have a really nice Christmas and then do it. And then I might also look into sending P to nursery. But needs that child interaction now. I can totally see it in her. For example, today we went to the park and she was just pointing at all of the children wanting to play with them, and they just ran away and left her because she's so small. So I might start looking into nursery. I do have a question though. Is preschool and nursery the same thing? Like, I don't understand the whole schooling system, and I really want to be educated before I look into it and get confused. I don't understand the free childcare hours, like the 15 hours. I know it's going to go up to 30, but only for certain people. I don't understand the concept. I've looked into one which is like £12 for 3 hours, but is that nursery? I just don't understand it. I can't get my head around it. So if you can leave me a comment below, let me know how it works for you and how I should look into it. Let me know, because I don't want to leave it too late. I haven't got a clue. It's all new for me. Is being a mum how you thought it would be? I don't know. I think before you're a parent and before you're pregnant, you are so naive as to how you think it's going to go. I was anyway. I'm a very naive person. And it's nothing like how you think it's going to be. I think you think it's going to be like, oh yeah, coffee dates, like a little bit of crying but not that much, like I don't know what mums complain about. Like, that's how I was an idiot. I think anything can actually mentally and physically prepare anyone for motherhood. So I could film my entire year from newborn to their first birthday, and I could daily vlog and I would share with you everything, but nothing can physically prepare you for it. It's so mentally draining. Each stage has its pros and its cons. So newborn stage, you're in this bubble and you are like, it's, to me, like, it still blows my mind that I managed to get through it. Like, you're so tired and you don't know what you're doing, and you don't understand like why this baby's crying when it's been fed, you're giving it some cuddles, you've made sure that it's like had its milk and it's still crying. It's just like, what do you want from me? Like, what more can I do? I've done everything I can. So you've got that stage. Then it's like the weaning phase. My baby's not eating this. Why is your baby eating this but mine's not? What am I doing wrong? And for example, now what I'm going through is the moaning stage. P is a diva at the moment. I don't know whether it's teething. I don't know whether that's just her being sassy and her personality is coming through even more. I don't know. And I feel like as a mother, you just don't know anything, you just wing it. I wing it all the time. It might look like I've got my shit together, but I certainly don't. I just stick to my routines, and that is how I get through each day. But I would just say, take it with a pinch of salt. Motherhood is so difficult, and I don't think it's ever going to get easier, because as they get older, they know what they want. They can have the tantrums, blah, blah, blah. Just cherish the moments that you've got. And recently, that's something that I've been doing. I've just taken a step back. If P's on one day, let her have it. I will just take myself out of the situation, maybe call Neil and just be like, oh my god, I can't cope, get that off my chest, and then I'll go again. I am trying to not complain about it as much, which is something I'm aware I did quite a lot. It's hard, especially when you're doing it on your own. Like for me, dealing with P 6 till 6 is very difficult when I don't have that other person to speak to, but I'm getting there, I'm learning. Next question is, what are some of your favourite meals to cook? If I'm being honest, I don't really cook that much. If I could cook whatever I would want to eat, I actually just cook chicken nuggets and chips because that's what I really enjoy to eat, but the waistline says otherwise. I just do Slimming World meals, so Diet Coke chicken, that's one of my faves. Teriyaki chicken, another one. I just like simple food that's easily done. So since doing Slimming World, I've branched out. Like I never used to cut onions and garlic and stuff like that. I literally just lived on Neil's diet, which is beige food, which is why I was so large. So yeah, I just stick to like the basics. I don't really do bolognese. Don't really like it. I do love a pasta dish, cheesy pasta, like homemade cheese pasta, like sauce on top of pasta, obviously with broccoli. That's a classic. I love doing that, but again, it's not really that healthy. I really like Mexican salsa and jacket potato. That's a really nice one, but again, I'm finding it quite difficult because now it's warm. I like eating salads in the summer, but yet P doesn't. I mean, I can't blame her. She's not going to want to munch on her lettuce leaf. She's not a rabbit. So it's quite hard again at the moment to try and find the balance, and I found that I'm doing 3 meals. One for me, one for Neil because he only eats beige food, and then one for P because she won't eat what I'm eating. So it's quite difficult again at the moment to get the balance, but I'm hopefully trying to get there eventually. Your house always looks so clean. Do you have any tips? I would say to clean as you go. I know some people will let their house get in a tip and then just do one massive deep clean at the end of the day, which might work for some people, but that would stress me out. So I literally just clean as I go. I make sure P helps me clean up as well. So if we're playing with a toy and she's finished with that, I'll say, come on, like, let's tidy up, or let's put your books in your bedroom. If she's got them in the sitting room, I'll say, let's go and put them in your bedroom. And she does it. She loves tidying up anyway. I don't know why. She's obviously got it off of me. So I just try and keep on top of it. I don't do the washing up throughout the day. So I do the washing up in the evenings, and then obviously it piles up through the day, and I just do one load of washing up as it comes. Maybe 2 if I've got quite a lot of washing up, like if I've done baking and stuff. But other than that, that's how I do it. I do all of my chores in the morning, just so I can get it out of the way. P's really happy just munching on some strawberries whilst I'm running around like a blue-ass fly, trying to get everything sorted. And then if she goes down for a nap, then I'll quickly do a little bit more. But that's it. I just try and keep on top of it. I'd also recommend doing like 5 minutes in each room. I found before I used to do that, I used to tidy up in the bedroom, tidy up in P's room, and I would never get anything sorted, and I'd have loads of piles of things that needed to go in certain places, and then I'd never get anything achieved. Whereas if I focus on one room, give myself like 3 to 5 minutes, however long my child will allow me to do it, then I'll quickly do all of that, and then I'll quickly move into the next room, and then do the bathroom, and then do the kitchen and the sitting room whilst P's playing. That works for me, so I definitely recommend trying that. Do you own or rent your house? We rent. We've always rented. I don't know how I'm ever going to afford to get on the property market, because you need thousands of pounds to get your deposit. I wish they'd bring back 0% mortgages. I don't know if they have or not. I don't think they have. It's just so frustrating that at the moment in rent we're paying the same price, if not more, than what someone's mortgage would, like what a mortgage would be for us. And it's just so frustrating because we've never had a late payment, we've always been on top of it, we've never been in debt, but yet we just can't get on the property market. It's so frustrating. I've got 2 more questions and then I'm going to wrap it up. So, how many children do you want? If it was down to me, I would have 3, and I would have, obviously I'd have P, I'd want another little girl, and then I'd want a little boy for my last one. If it was down to Neil, he would just have P, but he does like the idea of having another one for company for P. He just doesn't want to go through again because Neil really struggled. It might seem again through my vlogs that he's a really great dad, which he is, but I never filmed the newborn stages and I wish I did. But he really struggled, and I struggled as well. I remember sitting on the end of the bed thinking, what on earth have I done with my life? Like, why have I done this? Like, I could be at work earning like £1,000 a month and I'm sat here with milk coming out of my boobs. It's 3 AM, everyone else is asleep. Why aren't I asleep? Like, I really struggled with it. Neil really struggled with it. So I've twisted his arm for another one. But also thinking about it, I say I want 3. Realistically, I don't think I could cope with 3. I've got 2 hands, I've got a hand for each. And like, it sounds silly, but silly things like going out for meals, we only need a table of 4, we don't need a table of 6, so we can fit 5 round. And I've got a car, another baby would fit in there, whereas if I had a third, it might be a little bit tight. Going to the supermarket, you've got a space for 2 children, not 3. Things like that goes around my head. I don't know if I'm the only person, so I think realistically the next one will be my last, which I don't like because I just loved being pregnant. But yeah, I would say I'd like 3, but realistically we'll have 2, and financially as well, I couldn't afford 3. How do you manage on one income? Do you manage to save money every month? Like I've said previously in this video, we live paycheck to paycheck. Neil has got a small savings account that he set up when he was born for her, so a certain amount of money goes in each week. But other than that, we don't have anything at all. We've both sacrificed absolutely everything for me to be a stay-at-home parent, which I do feel guilty for. But again, in hindsight, money can't buy the memories that I've got with her. And I know that if I did go back, I would regret it. I know a lot of people couldn't be so dependent on one person, but I know that Neil is so selfless that that doesn't bother him in the slightest. We don't go on holiday abroad anymore, but we can make the most of the time that we do have in the UK, so that's not really a huge worry for us. I think as long as we're all happy, which we are, then money at the moment isn't really a huge worry. I think it will be when we do eventually need to move from where we are now into a 3-bed, just because the rent price will go up because you obviously need more space. So that's the concern. Although I will say that I am very uptight and conscious about money. Say I go to Poundland and I spend £4, that will play on my mind because I'm the sort of person that's like, do I really need that? I weigh up things a lot in my mind, and buy something, whether it will be on eBay or down at the shops, I'll make sure that I have a purpose for it. I don't let things go to waste. I only ever buy clothes in the sale for P, and I shop in Primark for myself. So I am very savvy, and I think that's where me and Neil work, is that I'm very uptight, like I've just said, and I do get quite worked up because I feel guilty. Of course I do, the fact that everything's coming out of Neil's pocket. I still manage to pay my way, so I pay for my own food. Yes, we do our own food shopping separately. It might be weird to people, but it's something that I want to do for myself. So I pay for my own food and I pay for my own phone bill. I also pay for my own petrol, but everything else comes from Neil, and I do feel guilty for it, but that's how we work. Neil is so laid back. He's like, don't worry about it. Like, don't get yourself so worked up. Like, I will get myself in a state and sometimes I'll cry. Whereas Neil's like, chill out. If there's a problem, I'll tell you about it. So yeah, we just get by month, and if there's a problem, Neil will say, you need to get back to work. But at the moment, we're fine. So, I'm going to wrap it up here. I feel like I've been talking for a very long time. I've got P, who is just eating her lunch in the sitting room, watching telly, so I need to go and give her some attention. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I will be doing a second part at some point when I get time to sit down and film it for you all. Like I said, please leave me a advice about nurseries and preschools and what they are and what you pay for and what I need to send P to and when to send her, because I haven't got a bloody clue. So that is all from me. I hope you all enjoyed this video and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!